And welcome to our Who review in 20 minutes. As usual, I have I'm preparing a timer. I say I'm preparing because it was on screen, and I've just realised that it was set to stopwatch mode, which just goes for 20 minutes instead of counting down, which I much prefer. So I've just changed it. But yeah, we got 20 minutes on the clock. We're going to review Doctor Who Lucky Day. Do we just get straight into it, Chris?
No, we both had a thing that I can't remember if you wanted to correct yours. We both had a thing we wanted to correct.
Mine wasn't a correction. Mine was more of just a thing we omitted last week. But go on, very quickly, we'll do that.
Yeah, that's feel bad. I feel bad for mine in a way because I'm not saying anything negative about the YouTuber. I have engaged with their content sometimes, but they're just simply not who I meant. So I feel like I should say it. I listed 3 Doctor Who YouTubers as sort of or 3 or 4 as my main Doctor Who YouTubers. And within that, I named the Confused Adipose. Again, I have watched their content in the past. It's good stuff. I was thinking of, in that instance, Crispy Pro. So I just wanted to... It's more giving Crispy Pro the shout-out he should have got last week. Good reviews. Did a video where he watched Doctor Who for 24 hours, which I really enjoyed. Crispy Pro should have been on the list and wasn't, so shout out here.
Yeah. And then the first instance of we finished our review, and I was like, damn, we should have mentioned that of the season, which is we didn't talk about the small glimpse that we had of the creature, the entity, the Midnight Entity, because there's a lot of discussion about whether that was too much, whether we weren't supposed to see the thing, whether it was right to see the thing. I think it was just right. It was like a weird little hard-to-see glimpse that was like, what does it actually look like? You don't know. You don't see enough of it. There's not enough information in that image to put it together. I don't love that they then showed what it looked like fully in daylight on Doctor Who Confidential, or whatever it's called now. That's not great. Leave that mystery for me. But in the context of the show, which is the thing that will endure, perfect to not show the entity. Correct. The correct.
I didn't know they did that on Doctor Who Unleashed.
They did.
That's amusing.
Yeah, they did. I didn't actually see the episode Doctor Who Unleashed. I just saw people posting it on Reddit. The image. It looked great. It looked really cool. But I think it's right to not do the entity. Although I did see the other side of that. People were like, why didn't they show us what the entity looks like? And it's like, that's the fucking point. It's scarier. What you imagine. We can't have the Doctor fight an amorphous thing that we can't see every week. But let's be honest. A thing you can't see is scarier than a thing you can see. Full stop. Those sorts absolutely. Of more ethereal things are way more terrifying because your imagination does all the work. It's brilliant. That's the way to do it. So yeah, I'm glad we didn't get shown the entity. I would have been very disappointed if we did. So I thought they handled that perfect. Little teasy glimpse, which is just enough to sort of wet the whistle without actually, giving away the game, so to speak. So yeah, just wanted to cover that. Before we moved on, let's do our 20-minute discussion of Lucky Day. So, are you ready, Chris?
I am ready.
All right, I'm going to start the clock now. Chris, what did you think?
What do you think? Oh, well,
I just talked. You go.
I really, really, really enjoyed it. I think there is look, it has flaws, but I think there is a difference, as I always bang on about on our podcast, between best and favourite. And while I think that Lux is a better episode, I think this was actually probably my favourite of the series so far. I really like the character of Ruby Sunday. I was wondering how on earth they were going to do a Dr. Light episode in this format when each episode follows so neatly on from the last. And I thought they found a way of doing that. Really, I thought that was really inventive what they did and how they played with the timeline of it. I thought that was really cool. I just thought it flowed really nicely. I liked the twists and turns. I enjoyed those. I thought the villain, whilst it wasn't the main part of it, I thought the villain was interesting. I liked the things. I thought it explored everything in enough detail for me, including some of its bigger, more political points. I thought got explored a decent amount. I just, again, an episode these days, for some reason, my bar with Doctor Who seems to be, is it coherent? Can I follow it? And if the answer is yes, I give it a lot of points for that. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed this. And I fully accept, though, I think it's just personal. I think it's just a Doctor Who episode that is my jam. Like, do you know what I mean? Doctor Who is a show that plays with different genres and certain types of episodes will appeal to different people. And for some reason, this is one that's just a tick for me. I really, really, really enjoyed it. I feel like you probably weren't as keen on it as me, but enjoyed it nonetheless. Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah, it's probably pretty close. Yeah, I mean, I really liked this episode. I think it was great. I think probably on balance, Lux more, because I just feel like Lux was.
Lux is a better episode. Yeah.
Well, for me, I think it was just that it was like a smoother execution of the ideas, whereas this idea was a little bigger than 46 minutes, whatever it ended up being, really could contain. I think for this to sort of reach Lux in that sort of like execution, that smoothness, that sort of like storytelling, like consistency, that sort of like coherence that you want from a story like this, where it doesn't feel like it's paced too quickly or missing out detail, you kind of want to give it 5-10 more minutes, I think. I am still a proponent of the 60-minute Doctor Who episodes. I think Chibnall had the right idea when he took the 45-minute sort of format and switched it to 60 for his run. And I understand there's going to be budget area things around that, but these seasons were made with Disney money, and we got shorter run than 8 episodes. I reckon 5-10 minutes longer per episode probably would have done this entire season, and the last one a world of good. Often Moffat and Russell talk about Doctor Who has these big ideas, bigger than can be contained in television. It's big enough for a movie, and I'm always like, yeah, that's great. So give it a little more time. Let's not cram a movie, and I don't want to watch a movie at double speed if I can avoid it. Look, I think the ideas in this are brilliant. I think the ideas in this are actually incredible. Like the double bluff of it, thinking it's just going to be a sort of like a Love and Monsters-esque episode about someone who was into the Doctor, wanting to get into the Doctor's world, and then stepping into it and finding out it's quite dangerous, is like a fun enough premise to be an episode all on its own. And then we have the turn. I would have been perfectly happy if that's just what this episode was. I wouldn't have stood out as a special episode amongst the season. It probably would have just been like, yeah, that's fine. I enjoyed that. They elevate it by doing this really interesting thing, which is where they turn it on its head, and we start looking at this notion of this sort of political, the way that we politicize things that aren't previously political, like in terms of like making people choose a side, disinformation, like people who are deliberately lying to you, sort of grifters who just, they're making money off you by telling you lies, but they're causing a lot of harm by doing that. It's a little muddled, unfortunately. It doesn't surprise me. I think his name is Peter McTeague, the guy that wrote this. Have I got that right? I think
I think that's right.
I think or Pete McTeague. There you go. I've just found it. I think he also wrote, and I think this makes perfect fucking sense. He also wrote Kablam, I think. And that was an episode with very muddled politics, if I'm being honest, where it's like it thinks it has an idea of what it wants to say, but the goal of the story ends up putting the Doctor on the wrong side of it in that example. Whereas here, it has the opposite problem of the villain, Conrad, I think his name is, his intentions are a little murky. Because it's like, so is he just in it for the profit? Is it revenge because he doesn't trust Unit because of stuff from his past? It's doing one too many things, and because we don't get a lot of time to explore it, like there's a point in which the show just tells us he's a liar. He's just lying. And you go, okay, he's making money off this then, I guess. But we don't really explore that. We don't properly explain it. You sort of think like, I don't really understand 100% his motives. They seem a little blurry. That might be intentional. There's an implication this character might return. Maybe we'll explore it more then. I don't know. But just given the episode as it is, I think it's really, really good. I loved dealing with Ruby's PTSD in the first half of the episode. I think we don't do enough of that in Doctor Who. And let me tell you, I've forgotten her name. Sorry, what's the actress called?
Millie Gibson.
Millie Gibson did a wonderful job making me believe that in the first half of the episode. And I do like the general premise of, these people who are lying to the public for personal gain, and the public just like being. I mean, because obviously a lot of this episode isn't just critiquing those people; it's also critiquing the public for just like buying this shit on no evidence whatsoever. Although that leads to some confusion as well. What? Someone explain to me Conrad's plan and how this convinces anyone of anything. Because I understand the idea is, it's a ridiculous thing he's asking them to believe because this is a world that's seen aliens and seen Daleks and seen all this stuff over the years now. The world of Doctor Who, people are kind of aware of aliens now. We've done that over and over and over again. So he tells everyone that's fiction, right? And in a world where there's people that believe the Earth is flat and that Trump won that election in 2020, whatever the last one was, 2021 or whatever it was, and all the bullshit that the right wing sort of sell people, the real. Like, there's people who to this day do not believe the Holocaust happened. Like, this is the world we live in. I'm always going to be prepared to believe that people could be lied to and believe it. But I was confused at his evidence. So he put on masks, pretended to be aliens, and the unit, who he claims invented aliens as a fiction to hide technology, they come to sort out the aliens. Does that not prove unit track down and capture aliens? But he's like filming them like, I gotcha so bad, look at you on camera looking like idiots, we're just in masks. I was so confused, Chris, about that, and why that video of unit just turning up to do their job was somehow exposing and started this whole trend of people not believing unit. I couldn't get my head around that part. That's one of the bits I talked about that were unsmooth, that caused confusion. Go on.
You're right.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right, because I suppose the easy argument against that is, well, if they're lying, they certainly believe their own lies, don't they?
Yeah.
Because they've appeared. They've come. Yeah, that is very weird.
Well, I couldn't quite get my head around what it was he thought. He was like, it was such a gotcha moment, and him and his little cronies are being so smug, like, yeah. And I was just, in the moment, I'm like, yeah, what? They turned up to tackle aliens. This thing you're claiming they don't do. I don't understand. And then it was like a little montage or whatever of like, here's all of the people that now are questioning unit, and like, and look, as a premise, I love that idea. I think this is absolutely a story we can tell in a world of misinformation and people believing all sorts of bullshit. Doctor Who is a perfect place to play that, because also now we have a world that's going to doubt aliens' existence. That's fun for the future of Doctor Who, like a world where there might be people who question whether it's real. Oh, it's all just special effects, just unit hiding technology, isn't it? Like, that's okay. That we could use that in many stories down the line. That's a potential seed for all sorts of cool stuff that we can do. Just how we got there, the execution not perfect, to say the least. So yeah, I don't know. Did you like Conrad as a sort of a villain, as a character, though, Chris? How did you feel about all that stuff? Because I just talked a lot about the politics of it.
I did, especially like you say, some elements of it, like at the end. I don't know. Well, though, I suppose it was right for the character, but he's so scared. I thought the actor did a wonderful job of, and shout out to the actor, because the script really had to have him jump from one thing to another convincingly, terrified, scared, and then immediately brash and cocky again.
Yeah.
Like, well, at least your effects are getting better. It's like, no, you were scared, and you were legitimately scared.
Yeah, I've got his name if you it's Jonah Andre Hauer-King. He apparently also played Prince Eric in the Little Mermaid remake, which I did not see, but that's good.
Oh, fair play. Nice. Yeah.
Oh, he was also... wait, I know where I know him from. He was in... Is this what I think it is? No, it's not. A different version. Oh, I thought he might have been in the Little Women film. A Greta Gerwig one. But he was in an adaptation on the BBC in 2017. Not the same thing. Ignore me.
I also thought he was phenomenal in, and I'm glad. I was like, oh, fuck, I meant to say it, because it's a huge part of why I love the episode. And I thought you were going to say it, and you haven't yet. I'm sure you would have said it, because how could anyone reviewing this not? I thought the final scene between him and Ncuti was spectacular. Oh, man.
We're going to disagree.
Really?
Disagree. God, no. Please praise it first, and I'll explain.
I thought Ncuti's Nshute's performance,
Yes.
especially with when he turns and you kind of feel it bubbling, and then he turns and he says, "You hurt my friend." Oh man, I thought it was one of Nshute's, if not Nshute's best angry doctor performances. I thought it was absolutely phenomenal, his acting in that scene.
That I agree with. His acting in that scene is absolutely amazing. It's really unfortunate that the words given to him aren't even remotely up to it. Like, what a fucking horrendous bit of writing. The Doctor is just insulting him. He's making so few valid points. It's angry and it's passionate and it's delivered beautifully, but it is fucking waffle. It is aimless. It doesn't target the actual problem. It just calls him small and pathetic and liar, and that's... God, you were so close. God, you were so close. I thought that speech was fucking dreadful. I thought that speech was absolutely horrendous. It was so poorly written, and it should have been this great moment. And Ncuti, God bless Ncuti for delivering the fuck out of it. And I'm so relieved that all of your compliments ultimately were how good Ncuti was, because I thought we were about to have a disagreement about the scene in general, but no, you focused on Ncuti, and you are completely 100% correct. We 100% agree on that. He's so good. This was his dot and bubble moment so far this season, and you're right. The way he turns on a dime is great. The words don't live up to it. The words don't live up to the rest of the script either. It's really, really painful that the final speech is so poorly written, and so it's like toothless, because it's saying all this stuff that sounds really big and powerful, but actually when you look at the words, they're kind of just meaningless insults. It's drivel. He's not.
Well, I did think the "you die at 40." I was like, "Oh, that doesn't feel very
the Doctor-like." Yeah, correct. That also was a problem for me. Yeah, because the Doctor
he's gonna die.
He just felt spiteful. And look, if this was Tennant's Doctor, cool. Tennant's Doctor would just leave you to rot in a star for the rest of your life. Like, that's Tennant's Doctor was a savage. Tennant's Doctor that would make sense for him. But for Ncuti's Doctor, yeah, I feel like if this is the Doctor that's had therapy and gotten his shit together, I don't know. It felt misguided, that final speech, in its writing, and I am a little sad about that.
I think that's fair. I think it was the performance of the two that was the main thing I loved.
Yeah. What a shame though, because I think that would have really brought the episode to a good, like, that. If they'd have nailed that, that's Conrad's plan making a little more sense, and that final speech. You fix both of those, this episode probably would be better than Lux for me. Like, if you fix those two things, any other issues I have with this episode are minor, slight pacing things. We do run a little quick because obviously we wait till halfway through the episode to do the turn, and then we have to barrel through that. It's not ideal. Him sneaking into units all done a bit quick and a bit sudden, and there's tons of reasons why, like the little nitpicky stuff. But none of that would matter if we fix those two major issues for me. Just for me, it's a personal thing. I even loved, and let's talk briefly. We got 4.5 minutes up very quickly. Kate's brutality as well. This is an absolute. Oh my god,
Kate, brilliant Kate. Yeah,
brilliant. Just give me this Kate all the time now. Lethbridge Stewart, absolute beast in it. Just like, we're gonna just kill you, or we're gonna let you die at your own hand. This is on you now. You've done this to yourself. The savagery in that. Because you know what? If Torchwood would have done that, the Doctor would have shut that shit down. But he likes Kate. This is gonna. I'm wondering if we're building to a clash of morality between these two. I wonder.
Yeah, well, I was wondering, is she in the spin-off, the Land Between the whatever and whatever it is?
Land Between the War Between the Earth and the Sea. We did. I think so. I assume so. I think a lot of the unit guys are in that. Let's check.
I think so.
Yeah, I'll look that up while you speak on that. Did you enjoy that element as much as I did?
Oh my god, it was phenomenal. Like, I just loved the fact that it was clearly a woman that had just been so pushed to the point of this. I thought the only element of it that I was like, oh god, it was a bit what was it? The gun thing, Chekhov's gun, is it? Like the whole, why is that being moved? Why is coincidentally the alien involved in this whole thing being moved to a point where they? And I'm like, okay, well, when he comes up, they're going to open the door and it's going to attack him, and that's going to prove the point. That was could have been maybe signposted a bit subtle, with more subtlety, perhaps.
I would agree. Yeah, I've just double checked. Kate is in the War Between Land and the Sea. She does appear to be in it.
Okay, cool. Like, you start that phone call maybe earlier with Ruby and Kate. That's great news that she's in it. That's brilliant.
Yeah, I found a cast picture, and she's smiling away.
Ah, cool.
Next to Russell Tovey, who I forgot was in that. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that's very exciting. You just have Kate and Ruby's phone call be halfway through, and Kate goes, "We've brought them up. They're here. They're there." You set up earlier maybe that it's been moved and is there. It just felt forced, that element of it.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, another one of the sort of things that make the episode feel a little unsmooth and like it needed more time. But again, not one of the critical ones that really has a massive impact on the episode. Just that would have been a small niggle. That would have been a visit to what we call Nitpick Corner on our other podcasts, to moan about that. So yeah, we got 2 minutes left. Look, in summary, I think this is a really, really good episode. It's super tense when it needs to be tense. The switch is great. The performances are great. All of the ideas are wonderful. I genuinely love this using science fiction to explore this idea of this real world problem we have of people just believing obvious lies for whatever reason with almost no evidence. And that's a very compelling story to tell in the world of Doctor Who, and they make you hate this character Conrad so much. It's perfect. I felt angry.
Oh, when he makes a comment about Shirley claiming benefits. Oh my god!
Oh god! Oh, she's in the cast photo for War of Land and the Sea, by the way. We're going to get more Shirley, which I'm always down for. So yeah, I think on the whole, really good. Definitely in the upper echelon of the episodes that have been out this season, but not the very best for the reasons mentioned. I think there are some pacing issues. Please, if we do another season, 60-minute episodes. Please, just please. 55. Give me 10 more minutes per episode. We desperately need it. And we're not constrained by American schedules anymore. We don't need to worry about that. Anyway, sorry, I've taken up more than my minute of time. There's 45 seconds left, Chris. What do you think? Summarise.
Yep, really, I agree with all of those flaws. Like I say, I think Lux is a better episode, but just something about this just really captured my attention personally, and I really loved it, and think it's one of the best and one of my favourites of the year.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. It's definitely in the top couple for sure. It's up there with obviously my favourite, The Robot Revolution. No, I'm kidding.
Fuck it now.
No, it's probably second best episode. Yeah, it's the second best episode. I think I liked it better than last week. So there you go.
Here's some news for you, Dan. Just in the how long have we got?
6 seconds.
Well, there we go. But to be fair, review over.
Yeah. Oh, I've got the little ding dong in my ear again. I need to make it not do that because that's very annoying.
The news is technically outside of the episode. I can give you the news anyway because I think it would both excite you but also disappoint you.
Go on.
It looks like because I also googled The War Between, and it looks like it's written by Russell T Davies and Pete Mateague. So on the one hand, Pete Mateague clearly understands UNIT in the sense that all the Kate stuff in this episode was brilliant and really interesting. But on the other hand, you think some of the writing was flawed. So good news, bad news.
Yeah, you know what's funny though? I think the writing is just outright flawed in Kaboom, whatever it was called, Kablam. In this, I don't think the writing was so much flawed as it just was rushed. I just feel like if he'd have been given 10 more minutes, I think this would have been a really good episode. I genuinely believe that. I don't think this was necessarily that it was badly written. I just think when you're condensing all of what this episode needs to contain into 45 minutes, there's going to be some of that, though, that those inconsistencies, weird bumps, strange leaps in logic. It's just to get us through the story that quickly. So We'll see. I'm gonna hold my I'm gonna hold my tongue on that one because I think there's, based on this episode, if anything, I think he's capable. Because I certainly enjoyed this one a lot more than Kablam. That's for sure. So, yeah, we're not defending Amazon in this one. So,
yeah.
There
we go.
Cool.
We're stopping there.
We're stopping there. Thanks everyone for listening. Come back in a week's time when we you know what I did, Chris? I went off the engine in the story, which is the title of that one, I think, to look up the war between land and the sea. I think it's called the engine in the story.
I think it's the story in the engine.
The story in the... Oh, God, what is it? Yeah, the story in the engine. Okay, so we'll see you guys in a week's time when we sit down to do a 20 minutes plus some extra bits review of the story and the engine. So we'll see you then. Take care, everyone. We love you. Goodbye.
Bye.